Hi everyone, Amanda Hartman, speech pathologist with AssistiveWare here, and today let's talk about conversations with AAC. Conversations are so important. It's those moments where we connect and really get to know each other and where we can share our ideas and our thoughts and anything. And sometimes they can be a little bit hard for an AAC user, so I want to talk about some ways that we can help an AAC user to build real conversations and connections with all of the people around them. Conversations are where news and ideas, feelings are shared. They happen every day. The problem with them is that they're often fast moving, and we can often, in any conversation, switch and change between topics a lot. So there's a wide variety of topics that could be covered. And the other part of it is we might talk about something that's right in front of us, but ultimately, we could end up chatting about anything, about our life, our interests, and our plans. And this does create some difficulties for people who might communicate using AAC. So, how can a conversation look for someone who uses AAC? Firstly, do they have the words, the vocabulary, the language and skills that they need to be able to compose a message to join in a conversation? Do they have enough time? Do they know how to start or initiate a communication? And we talk about that idea of modeling, to learn how to have a conversation, you need to see others do it. Have AAC users actually been modeled how to join a conversation with AAC? Or do they only ever get to see their AAC used in structured learning activities? These are good questions. And most importantly, how do we prepare when ultimately conversations are really, really unpredictable? So what we do know is a good starting point is if we have a robust, a balanced vocabulary, we have core words, fringe words, our personal words are all programmed in, and we have an alphabet, then really we can combine these things to say anything. And that ability to create a unique message to put into a conversation is important. But sometimes that combining can take time, and the conversation has already moved on before you've had a chance to say it. So how can we prepare for these conversations? Let's think of some ideas today. And when I'm talking about preparing and saving phrases and sentences, it's important from the start that we talk about authorship. We want any phrases or sentences that are written, we want them to be written or co-authored or co-written by the AAC user. They have to be their words. We can't assume that we know the best words for them to say. So it's not up to us to program a whole lot of phrases and sentences in. It's about working with an AAC user together to come up with things that are most going to reflect the things that they want to say in a conversation. They'll use them more than two if they have ownership of them. And in this process, yes, we can talk about making a whole lot of saved phrases and sentences. These are the things that can be used quickly and fast in a conversation, immediately. But we also have to always be able to learn how to use my full vocabulary of words to create unique messages, because you cannot plan and prepare for everything. So all AAC users need a balance of both of these things. So 5 ways that you can support an AAC user to participate in a conversation. So here they are. We're going to look at generic phrases, specific phrases, conversation starters, news and stories, and how we can manage the behavior of speaking people, all important things so that someone can participate in a conversation. Firstly, generic phrases. So you want to work with your AAC user to plan, write, and then save. Yep, we're saving them into the AAC, some generic phrases that can be used. Generic things can be positive, negative comments, anything that's going to continue the flow of conversation, but it's also about giving some things that the AAC user might want to add or contribute to a conversation that reflects something that they're thinking about. Like a positive comment, that's amazing, tell me more. Or a negative comment, oh, that bummer, that really stinks. Those sorts of generic things that can be used in any situation. You also might want to work with the AAC user on specific phrases. If we really think about it, we can often think of the things that we are most likely to need to say in a conversation in a really specific situation, particularly if you go there often. So work with an AAC user to plan, write, and save some of these specific phrases. If you're going shopping with some birthday money, you might need to ask, how much does this cost? You want to ask about the latest game release. I'm all shopped out. Whatever the specific things that that you think working with the AAC user that they might want or need to say in that specific situation so that they can participate to the fullest, then that's really important. It could be some specific phrases to participate in one of their favorite activities. All of those are important to plan and save in advance. Next to conversation starters, we want AAC users to be able to start conversations with people, to talk about the things that they're interested in and to ask questions about things other people are interested in and really get to know and connect with people. So maybe you might plan, write and save some statements and some questions that work as really good conversation starters. Things like, tell me about your weekend. I'm so excited about the holidays. Have you been to any good movies lately? Those sorts of things can really prompt a conversation for an AAC user. 4, news and stories. Look, we all have news and stories to tell. We constantly are experiencing new things, planning things for the future, and we want to have a way that we can share those with the world around us. And AAC user is no different. So work with them to plan and write these news and stories that are important to them, and then save them on buttons, or even in maybe a Pictello book with some photos. Any which way you can save them, have them so that they can be shared by an AAC user. Telling stories is such an important way to connect with the people around you. And 5, lastly, we want to talk right, no matter how old the AAC user is, about advocating for themselves. And some of this could be to help them manage or control the behavior of the speaking people around them. So work with an AAC user to plan, write and save any phrases that's going to help them advocate or speak up for themselves, particularly in conversations where things are going fast and they haven't been allowed time to join in. So things like please slow down, or even don't interrupt me. Maybe they want to please say something like, please talk directly to me, or give me more time to write my message. Maybe they want information emailed. So there's lots of different ways that can help control the flow of the conversation, and it's good to teach those skills as early as possible. All right, so I think with those 5 ideas, hopefully you can really think about getting started to provide more opportunities for AAC users to join in conversations. My last top tips are, I want you to think about incidental opportunities. If you're doing a farm puzzle, think about how that reminds you of a previous experience. Link that to things that are past experience or things that they're interested in. Oh, that's right, we went on a farm visit. Maybe find some photos of that farm visit. So instead of, then you can go on and have a conversation. So instead of being stuck in only talking about the puzzle, put in, take out, horse, cow, sheep, boring. You can start talking about, oh, remember when we went to the farm? It was so much fun. We fed the goats. And that is that natural kind of flow of conversation. Don't feel that you have to only get caught in those structured learning moments. Think about where that fun flow of conversation can be modeled and shown with AAC. And one of the most important things that we need to take away, all of us, all people that interact with an AAC user, is the timing. We need to learn how to pause and wait. It's just so important. All AAC users need to be given time to offer something into the conversation. It doesn't matter how much we pre-plan and prepare for conversations with like those 5 strategies we just talked about. They are no good if the environment that they're in, if the people in the environment they're in don't pause and wait and give them an opportunity to join the conversation. So that is it from me. Thank you for joining us, and let's get out there and have lots of great, fun, meaningful conversations with AAC users. And drop us any of your ideas. If you've got some tips that have worked for you, then please share them with us. Thanks. Bye.